I am laughing. There we go. Zulma Gonzalez, this mic is all yours.
Well, a thankful Thursday to each and every only one of us. Hmm. So I was listening to a conversation. Oh, well, let's start with we're talking about A Course in Miracles meets Science of Mind and Other Metaphysical Teachings. We're talking about truth. We're talking about oneness. We're talking about the only aspect of time that has any meaning is now. I was listening to a conversation um, just before I was brought on the live, and a passage of the Course I picked up. Take this very instant now and think of it as all there is of time. Nothing can reach you here out of the past, and it is here that you are completely absolved, completely free, and holy, that is completely without condemnation. And somewhere else in the Course, it reads, all your past, except its beauty, is gone, and nothing is left but a blessing. And that's just what I needed to share in this moment. Um, yeah, that's all I need to share in this moment. So, as I said, we're talking Course in Miracles meets Science of Mind and Other Metaphysical Teachings. And that includes various um, authors, writers, speakers along the way, some of whom are named on the screen. And I will, I don't know who's watching and who's not. Well, I know who's watching here, but I don't know who's watching on YouTube. I don't know. So, anybody in the Pal Talk room, if you want to know who the people are, you'll have to go to the YouTube to see it later. And as always, I talk about the importance of minding our mind. Mind your mind. Don't mind my mind. Mind your mind. Don't mind my business. Mind your business. Because your mind is your business. What comes out of you is what's in you. What comes out of me is what's in me. And right now, what's coming out of me is these passages that I've read. I'm in two different places right now, so I'm going to attempt to be right here, right now. The study of the wisdom teachings should be a continuous process in which the teachings become the predominant factor of life. The predominant factor of life, rather than the useless and oftentimes negative and illusory thoughts of those who are ignorant of spiritual truths. That is, we don't focus on anything outside ourselves. We don't focus on the things that are uh, uh, that are painful, that we feel have caused us pain, or that we think are going to cause us pain. Because we tend, because in these times, these particular times, there are a lot of conversations about the future and what's going to happen in that future. And I think, I may not be physically alive for these times that I'm worrying about. So I think I'm just going to stick to March the 6th, 2025, and be right here, right now. Joel Goldsmith writes that, oh, that, by the way, was an ancient Egyptian proverb. But Joel Goldsmith writes that morning, noon, and night, we must watch our thoughts. What we feel comes from what we think. What we do comes from what we feel. So the words that jump out of our mouth, in the four agreements, we're taught to be impeccable with our word. That means to be honest with ourselves and let what comes out of our mouth be that which we want, that we wouldn't mind saying and sharing anywhere, everywhere. I'm not going to, I remember when at work, when I used to work for the Postal Service, and somebody would say something about someone, and I would ask them, have you told them that? Which of course stops them. Got to the point where people wouldn't come to me with their gossip, wouldn't come to me with gossip because I never quote threatened to tell the other person. I just asked them, would they say that if the person were there? And since that was not the case, those conversations ended very quickly. Dr. Ernest Holmes teaches that to learn how to think is to learn how to live. To learn how to think is to learn how to live. We have to think about what we think about, see if what we're thinking is leading us to finding our inner peace. And if not, we need to think about what we're thinking about and remember that we can always see it differently. We can choose to see it differently. We can choose to not be in pain. Christian Larson writes that we naturally become master over all life when we can understand and master the process of thinking. And the Course, of course, reminds us that an untrained mind can accomplish nothing. So my time, as much as I possibly can, is spent studying, then practicing, studying, then practicing, studying, then practicing. Because it's not enough just to read and memorize and talk the talk if I'm not walking the walk. I'm making a disconnect. I'm living in two worlds. And I can't possibly be in peace if that's the case. Okay. I think from now on, this was my favorite, the one that's framed, is going to show up. From chapter 7, section 7, paragraph 2, verses 7 and 8, every response from the Course, every response you make is determined by what you think you are. Pause for a moment on that one, so you can think about that. Every response you make is determined by what you think you are, and what you want to be is what you think you are. So if I say I want to be organized, in the moment that I'm thinking about it, that's exactly what I am. And if I really want to do that, the Course talks about the section on means and ends. We say we want the end, but we don't want to do the means to get it. Unless I'm willing to do what it takes to get there. In religious science, we say you treat, which means to pray. You treat and move your feet. That's the same as saying study and then practice. Pray and then practice. The answer to the prayer is in the prayer itself, not petitioning, not asking God, not begging God, none of that. Just acknowledging the truth. I don't have to ask for anything because I have everything. I am everything. Ooh, I felt chills with that one. What you want to be is what you think you are. What you want to be then must determine every response you make. I see slides that aren't. So I heard Dove say, and I'm going to repeat: trust would settle every problem now. To rely upon spirit totally would settle every problem now. Quote, it's Women History Month, so every week this month I'm going to pop a quote or two up from a woman. Trust is knowing that we're exactly where we're supposed to be in life, especially when it doesn't feel like it. And that's a quote from Gail Lynn Goodwin. And as I'm saying that, I hate to admit that I didn't look to see who Gail Lynn Goodwin is. Um, so, but I will find out. I may not share it with you, but I'm going to find out as soon as that just occurred to me. I don't know who Gail Lynn Goodwin is, but it's a darn good quote. And the Course backs that up with only reality is free of pain. Only reality is free of loss. Only reality is wholly, that is completely safe. And it is only this we seek today. As long as I'm staying in the present, I mean, right here and right now, and focusing on moving forward instead of looking back, and not looking forward in terms of future anticipation, because the Course says, look at what you're afraid of. Only the anticipation will frighten you. What I'm afraid of is what is are the thoughts I'm thinking, not the thing, but what I think about the thing. My pain, my so-called current pain, isn't coming from a place of now. It's coming from the thoughts of a time past. Only reality, which is right now. Only reality is free of pain. Only reality is free of loss. Only reality is completely safe. And it's only this we seek right now. The only sane solution is not to try to change reality, which is indeed a fearful attempt, but to accept it as it is. Acceptance, accepting what is as it is. And continuing from the Course, from workbook lesson 268, let all things be exactly as they are. And Dove writes in the chat, all things are lessons God would have me learn, from workbook lesson 193. That's exactly right. All things are lessons that God would have me learn. So let all things be exactly as they are. And it reads, let me not be your critic, Lord, today, and judge against you. Let me not be the critic of life as it is. Let me not be the critic of reality and judge against it. Because God is reality. God is what let me not be a critic and judge against myself. Because that's what I'm doing. Let me not attempt to interfere with your creation. Let me not attempt to interfere with what is now, what is already here, what I can't change, and distort it into sickly forms. Let me be willing to withdraw my wishes. You know what I say? Wish world is not a real place. Let me be willing to withdraw my wishes from its unity, the unity of creation, the unity of all life, the oneness that it is. It simply is. And thus to let it be as you created it. Just let it be. Just let it be. For thus will I be able to recognize my true self, my capital S self, as you created me, as I was created. I could to see my actual self, to see that which is eternal, to see that indwelling, that spirit. And I'm saying indwelling, but there is no inside outside. To see the spirit that I am. For thus will I be able to recognize my capital S self. In love was I created, and in love will I remain forever. Early in the Course, it says that you are lovable that you are loved, you are loved, you are loved, loved, and lovable. It doesn't say exactly that way, but my friend Calista always says it that way. You are loved, loved, and lovable. We're created in love. We are love. We are love. It's what we are. What can frighten me? When I let all things be exactly as they are. If we're able to, and this is a tough one. I was listening to um the Zoom of one of the gatherings, and I thought it was live. So I was on you listened on YouTube. It came up on my television. So I clicked in, and I had a chance to listen to. Let's see. Um, it was Lynn, Rico, McKaylee, Rafi, and a friend. Brooklyn. Oh, that's not everybody. Oh my God. I thought I had it in my head. Anyway, if there was somebody else there, if anybody's listening to this that heard it, um, uh, attack, could put it to my memory, not paying attention like it is right now, then to my heart. Anyway, we're talking about, these times that are that we're experiencing, and I went on Zoom thinking because I thought it was live because I wanted to chime in. I couldn't. Um, and what I said when I started, I don't know if I'm even going to be alive for some of this stuff that I'm hearing about. So I decided, like right here, right now, because it's a distraction. It's a distraction. Everything out there. It's a distraction from my peace. It's a distraction from me realizing that I am loved. If I can even begin to look at all that as love, we call for love, but love nevertheless. And it's for me to determine how I can extend, not go into a call for love myself and go into fear. What can frighten me when I let all things be exactly as they are? And I get it. I mean, I get it. We're seeing some tangible stuff that's got us questioning our safety. Oh, talk about distraction. My safety lies in God. I'm in God. I'm of God. Period. Period. I'm going to go on. From Joel Goldsmith's Realization of Oneness, pages 113 to 114, from a section he has entitled Self-Contained Being, he writes, because of our false education, hear me when I say false education, that's our backward thinking. Because of our false education, we have accepted our human personality as our real self. We have accepted our human personality as our real self. So we're walking around here worried and scared and nervous. And let me just read it because he makes it real plain. Because of our false education, we have accepted our human personality as our real self and have never looked within, but rather have looked outside, putting our faith in princes, and that's in quotation mark, princes. Oops. Oops. I made a correction and all right. Putting our faith in princes, in political preference, influence, or in the accident of birth. Political preference. Here we go. It shouldn't have happened that way. It shouldn't be happening this way. All things are lessons that God would have me learn. And you can't know how many times a day I'm saying that to remember, to remember, to remember. Whatever it is, it is. And in my mind, I can make up what I think is going to be, and it's frightening. I can make a movie with no film that I'm not getting paid for. Oh man, I'm not getting paid for this. With the revelation of our true identity, and Dove writes, there is no good or bad. Thinking about it makes it so, and that's from Shakespeare, from the play Hamlet. With the revelation of our true identity, and that revelation is that moment, the holy instant, the first holy instant of its kind, where we recognize and realize, we make real our oneness with what is our oneness. Here it is. With the revelation of our true identity, we realize that the self, the capital S self, the true self, the self of us is God. I like how you said that. The self of us is God. The capital S self of us is God. So, if my capital S self is God, what am I afraid of? What, what, why? What reason? I'll go on. I'm having moments here. We realize that the capital S self of us is God, and therefore we can reach down into this withinness. Listen to that word, withinness. I like Joe Goldsmith. Oh man, I like Joe Goldsmith. And again, this is from his book Realization of Oneness. We can reach down into this withinness and find ourselves one with the capital V vine. In the Bible, it speaks of I am the vine, you're the branches. We can reach down into the withinness and find ourselves one with the vine, one with our divine selfhood, capital S selfhood. Yes, the ego analyzes. I found there was something else about that I found it. I'm not going to that right today. And the Holy Spirit accepts. Spirit accepts. Because really not accepting is only going to put me in pain. There's nothing to fear, and this is a fact. Fear is nothing. There's nothing to it. Or actually, I was talking last night, and I said, fear is having faith in what I don't want. Ernest Holmes said that. Fear is he calls it misplaced faith. Having faith in what I don't want. But anyway, we can reach down into this with the revelation of our true identity. We realize that the self, capital S, self of us is God, is God, is God, is God, and therefore we can reach down into this withinness and find ourselves one with the vine, one with our divine selfhood. The moment that contact is established, we're talking about engaging with God. We're talking about guarding our thoughts. We're talking about recognizing that we are in God, that God is what we are. The moment that contact is established, it is as if a voice said, I am with you. I am going before you. I will be your bread, your meat, your wine. So If we're worrying about, these programs and things that, that voice, the God self, I will be your bread, your meat, your wine. Because isn't it when we just talk, well, just listening about our responsibility, everything, I am responsible. I am responsible. I am responsible. And not to get caught off by not to get caught up and not to get caught up by these distractions that we are using to cause ourselves pain. The voice, I am with you. I am going before you, not behind you, but before you. Trust in the Lord, trust in God, trust in the truth with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, engaging with God in all your ways, acknowledge that presence, and it will direct your paths. PATHS. Not just this moment, but every moment. I will be your bread, your meat, your wine. I will appear outwardly as your opportunity, as your companionship, as your home, as your safety, and as your security. I will do all things for you. See, we have to, this is the time, these are the times when we have to look at what it is that we really believe. And we have to be really careful that we don't have this lingering fear, this subtle, obscure fear that's leading us to act in ways, say things, and do things that are just putting out more pain and more pain and more pain. But it's coming from within. It's coming from within. I will appear outwardly as your opportunity, as your companionship, as your home, as your safety, and as your security. I will do all things for you. All things. All things. Let all things be exactly as they are. All things. God is all in all. God, it's referred to as the universe. God is the life. Nothing outside of God. Everything. Everything that we see, everything that we hear, everything that we think, everything that we believe, everything that we think we know, it's still all God. And we can't call this thing God, but not that thing. This thing and not from that thing. Because, right, there's nothing outside. Everything is coming, my world. I'm seeing things through my world, through my lenses. And Joel continues. Now, we no longer look to parents, children, neighbors, friends, brothers, or sisters. Now, in this case, I'm taking brothers and sisters to mean anything, anybody outside of us. Anybody, anybody that we're calling by a name other than our physical, other than my own. Anybody that I'm calling someone other than Zulma. And Dove quotes from chapter 18, paragraph 6. Heaven, which you never left, is an awareness of perfect oneness. Oneness. And I have to, again, I have to be careful that I'm actually doing what I'm saying. I have to be very careful to literally say it in love, because I have to look at my motives for everything. And granted, the way I hear it might not be the way you mean it. And I have to, and it's up to me. Oh, it's up to me. It's up to me. I had a situation the other day, just the other day. Someone just lied on me, just outright lied on me. Now, last week I had talked about, I think I mentioned that there's a place in the Alcoholics Anonymous big book that says that there are those who are constitutionally incapable of being totally honest with themselves. And although I don't, my dog, you know how Mabel does. He decides to come up. Um, although I don't want to believe that that there isn't anything we can't do. The fact is that when one thinks one can, and when one thinks one can't. And the AA Big Book says that there are people who are constitutionally incapable of being rigorously honest with themselves. So we might here, and everywhere, just, in this room, outside this room, we may hear someone talking about, quoting the course and 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 talking about mm, one thing, and then turn around and say something that is like, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. That's so contradictory. We see it, we hear it, we know it, but uh, there's a thing on TikTok right now. Uh, I I hear, and I don't. I listen and I don't judge. I listen and I don't judge. I listen and I don't judge. There's stuff going on in the chat. Let me see. Um, McKaylee writes, in this Lenten season, a time. Uh-oh. Okay. This is hard to. I'm having difficulty scrolling here. I'm trying here. Um, a time within this script to undo and release all those beliefs and habits that no longer serve us. I was just, thank you for that, McKaylee. I was just um reading 40-Day Mind Fast by Michael Bernard Beckwith. It's 40 days of affirmation. I'm part of actually a 40-day group right now, or every day we're reading one day, and today was day 4. Um, and it was talking about exactly that. But our freedom lies in realizing that it's not the stuff out here that binds us. Nothing out here binds us. Now, granted, when we were children, when we were itty bitty, people, um, we didn't know that we had choices, and we were bound, if you will, by our parents or whoever our caregivers were, by our siblings, by our teachers, in school and all that. Because we were taught to believe that whatever came, we didn't, or weren't taught to believe that whatever information was given to us was the truth. Well, how could they be wrong? They're my parents, How could they be wrong? They're my teachers. How could my siblings, be mean to me? If they are, it must be because I deserve it. But now, today, thank you, God. We have choice, and we know that we have choice. We have the gift of the miracle. We have that gift, that change in perception. We have the ability to change our minds, to look at it differently. And so, Joe Goldsmith continues, we look within ourselves, make contact, and then are patient, patient, patient until the flow begins to come from within, pouring forth as the without. Because I'm starting April 9th, I'm teaching a course on the book titled The Mental Equivalent. Oh, here's a shameless plug. Anybody interested? It's the investment is $240 in a 6-week course. If you want more information about it, let me know. The Mental Equivalent, and we're using the book by Emmett Fox with the same title, The Mental Equivalent, which is exactly that. What comes from within, who is forth from the without. We have to get that mental equivalent. As above, so below. What's in me is what comes out of me. That kind of thing. We act according to what we believe, and what we believe comes from what we think. After that, Joel Goldsmith says, we do not have to depend on those outside us, but rather we can share with them out of this infinite storehouse. Oh, storehouse is a capital S. Until they, in their turn, learn the infinite nature of their own being and begin to draw on it. That's me and my brothers, me and my sisters. I don't have to be out here trying to fix anybody. I'm not trying to fix anybody. And yes, beautiful. This is a beautiful time of growth and transformation. And gratefulness is key. Gratefulness is definitely key. And gratitude, the course teaches only gratitude is an appropriate response to your brother. Appreciation. Only appreciation is an appropriate response. Only appreciation. Gratitude is due him, her, for no matter what. Because we learn our lessons through them. They are what we are. And we learn. I learn. And I don't necessarily like all the lessons I get. And a lot of times it's showing me how, how much I thought I knew. I thought I was how holy I thought I was, how whole I thought I was. And then here comes something that I decide disrupts my peace. Wait a minute, wait a minute. I was just so whole and holy a minute ago. Everything was just, oh, nothing can disturb my peace. Oh, nothing outside of me. Oh, and then bam. And it's wonderful because these are lessons that God would have me learn. This is where I learn. I get to look at what role I play in it. It's always the role I play. Dr. Winston Collins says, if I look at what role I play, I'll realize there's nothing to forgive. And this is what he told me back in 1992, 93. From the course, fantasy is a distorted form of vision. Fantasies of any, this is one of my favorite passages, by the way. Fantasies of any kind are distortions because they always involve twisting perception into unreality. If I think that you're the reason that something is happening, you're the cause of what's happening in my life, I am twisting perception into unreality. And actions that stem from this distortion, from these distortions, are literally the reactions of those who know not what they do. I don't know what I'm doing if I think that you're the reason that I'm doing what I do. Fantasy is an attempt to control reality according to false needs. Twist reality in any way, and you are perceiving destructively. If I think that my life is the way it is because of what so and so did to me yesterday, last week, last month, last year, 5 years ago, 20 years ago, 50 years ago, 60 years ago, if I think that I am a victim because when I was in uh, fifth grade, Sister Placidia hit me with the yardstick on my hand because I was turned around talking to no the girl in front of me, Anna Fraser, who's was supposed to do that. Because the girl in front of me, because we were seated alphabetically, and after Fraser and Gonzalez, she was turning around, and I was talking. We were talking, but I'm the one that got hit with the yardstick, and she didn't. Am I supposed to think that because Sister Placidia, hit me and not her, that I'm a victim of the world I see? Am I supposed to hold that against this woman who is no longer on the planet? That I know. She's no longer on the planet. I said fifth grade. I was 10. I'm 68 now. If she is, man, I would like to sit with her right now. Um, but am I supposed to blame her? I just grabbed that. Why that came to me, I don't know. But I wasn't upset with Anna, and I'm not upset with Sister Placidia. First of all, that's come and gone. Now is the only time that's real. That would be twisting reality. I'm trying to make what was what is and choose to be in pain about it. No, no, no. Fantasy is a distorted form of vision. Making up stuff is a distorted form of vision. Telling myself that a story about what I see or what I hear is a distorted form of vision. I'm making it up. Stuff says take nothing in this dream world seriously. Nothing. Don't make assumptions. Don't take it personally. That's from the Four Agreements. Don't. I make up a story about what is. That's a distorted form of vision. I'm twisting perception and unreality. I'm taking what I think to be the truth and trying to make it real. It's not. It's not. And Dr. Ernest Holmes says that we are so one, capital O1, with the whole, capital W whole. We are so one with the whole that what is true of it is also true of us. So if I'm thinking that that person out there is this, is that, shouldn't have this, shouldn't have that, what I'm really saying is that I think, I believe that I am a victim, that I am separate from this person or from that thing or that situation. I think I'm separate. Well, it has to be separate after all. My mother didn't, whatever. Well, it has to be separate because Sister Placidia, whatever. Well, it has to be separate because see, I'm here analyzing all these situations that have come and gone. I've said numerous times that over 700 times in the Bible, it reads, it came to pass. 728, I believe it is. It came to pass. None of this stuff came to stay. It came to pass. We are so one with the whole that what is true of it is also true of us. Today, I understand that no matter what is coming through me, as me, not to me as a victim. It's coming through me. It's coming as me. I am one with all that is. And to choose to see it differently will automatically make me a victim. It's automatically a distorted form of reality. Because it's at that point where I feel like I'm alone in this world. Oh, look at what's happening to me. People we hmm, those who choose to watch the news on a regular basis ought to do it in a Zoom room or something so you can talk about it right away. Because in the moment that we're sitting in front of our televisions or listening to the radio, however we're doing it, if I'm sitting by myself, I think I'm alone. This is what's going to happen to me. What's happening to me? What's going to happen to my whatever? My possessions. That's really what it comes down to. What's going to happen to my possessions? Am I going to be able to? It's time for me to worry. It's time for me to be afraid because of these stories that I'm making up, these distorted forms of reality that these distorted forms of reality, this pain that I'm causing myself. And I am blaming the television set for it. I'm blaming the people I'm listening to on the TV for it. I heard it said that they're going to be a little uncomfortable. But isn't the process of growth always going out of your comfort zone? We grow from these things. Okay, let me read the quotes from the course. To be alone is to be separated from infinity, to be separated from life, to be separated from truth, to be separated from God. But how can this be if infinity has no end? No one can be beyond the limitless. Out there, I'm separate. Oh, no, no, we're not talking about you. We're talking about just me, only me, oh, poor me. What has no limits must be everywhere. So Ernest Holmes says, oh, okay, now I lost that quote. I lost that passage in my mind. Basically, that what's going on here is going on everywhere. Spirit is everywhere. Deep calls unto deep. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. There's no, if it's happening to me, then it's not happening to you. If that's the case, then it's not real. It's not real because what's real is real across the board. Truth is true across the board. So what I'm over here talking about when I'm losing and you're over here talking about you're winning. No, I'm in a state of grace forever, and so are you. And we are one. And it's not so are you. We are in a state of grace forever because we are spirit. It's only one spirit. It's only one life. There's only the one life. That life is God's life. That life is completely perfect. And that life is our life. It's our life now. There are no beginnings and no endings in God, whose universe is himself. Hear that. The universe, anything. Can you exclude yourself from the universe or from God, who is the universe? Uni means one. And I think verse has to do with word, one word. So like that, the way it's written in the beginning was the word and all that kind of stuff. It's only one. It's only one. Workbook lesson 183. To call upon his name is but to call upon your own. So seek not outside yourself. There's nothing out there. Seek not outside yourself. The truth is always going to be true. And it's always just one. Just one. Just one. We are so one with the whole that what is true of it is also true of us. And my last slide for the day. From a woman who calls herself Pretty V, who wrote a book. I just saw her on one of the talk shows. The Pretty Victory 100-Day Guide to Recenter Yourself, and find your purpose. And she writes, your mind will tell you lies. I'm going to say that again. Just that. Woo. Your mind will tell you lies and try to keep you from your destiny. We're so running around here afraid of what's going to happen. And while we're doing that, while I'll speak for myself, and while I am worrying about what's going to happen, I'm not appreciating what's happening now, this moment, this breath, this life. Your mind, it'll try to hold you back with past traumas and paralyze you from walking into your next season. So you have to choose to put great thoughts in place. I can change my mind. I can see this differently. Above all else, I want to see this differently. You have to choose to put great thoughts in place and use them to shove the negative thoughts away. Zig Ziglar, the good, the clean, the pure, the powerful, and the positive. Speak affirmations over your body, your life, your success. Speak affirmations. Speak God. Speak oneness. Speak truth. Speak evolution, not destruction. Speak peace. Speak love. Speak affirmations over your body, your life, your success. You have the power to shape your reality. What's it say? The responsibility for sight. I am responsible. I am responsible. I have been given everything. I am everything. I have everything. I am exactly where I need to be. I am love. I am love. I am love. Speak affirmations over your body, your life, and your success. You have the power to shape your reality to match the vision God has given you. Again, that's that mental equivalent. What the course teaches that when you're not thinking with God, you're not thinking at all. We're being asked all the time, think with God, think with God, think as God thinks. See yourself as in the oneness of it. Engage with God. I have been called to a higher place. So we must raise our thoughts to match. We can persevere if we transform our mind. Be renewed in the spirit of your mind is the way it's written in the Bible. Be willing to see it differently is how the course teaches us. We can see it differently if we want to. We have the gift of love. We have the gift of truth. We have the gift of God. We have the gift of oneness. And we have the ability to see things differently. We can persevere if we transform, continually renew, continually engage, continually guard our thoughts. We can, because we are what God is. I'm grateful for this hour. I'm grateful to be here with you, family. I'm grateful for everything I've heard before now. Grateful for this day. And I'm going to keep on in gratitude. Only appreciation is an appropriate response. And that's how I'm going to respond. And with that, Lynn, I'm turning the mic over to you.
Thank you so much, Zulma. And I love this teaching. I truly, truly enjoy the way that you bring those belief systems together, because it is